Have you figured out your niche? Are you helping adding value to other people's lives? Then you're in the right place. Welcome to Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi.
Greetings from Chicagoland. This is Munira, the niche navigator, coming to you live with another guest that we are showcasing today. Denise Farrell is here with us from all the way from Pennsylvania. She is doing something on gratitude, and she is an attraction coach from what I understand. But that's what my understanding is, but we need to learn more. So welcome to our show, Denise.
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. So we met in a group. She asked a question, we connected, and here we are, right? So it's amazing what networking can do. As a niche navigator, in one of the aspects of niche is networking. So let's talk about how network can grow your sphere of influence and how it can take your business to the next level. There are so many people out there just waiting to meet you and answer the call, right? All you have to do is answer the call. So that's my tip for the day. But without further ado, let's talk to Denise. So Denise, welcome to Munira's Musings. You are so excited. I can see that.
I know. I feel so good. I'm so grateful.
Thank you for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I am originally from Jamaica. I came here when I was 18, and I I went to this college. I'll start there because my stories are pretty long. But I went to this college where I got involved in some kind of in leadership, and I had just a drive to make a difference in mankind for people. I wanted to help people. So that led me to becoming a social worker. And when I was a social worker, I felt like I wasn't making a difference, but they allowed me to teach a class on law of attraction. And I just heard about The Secret, and it really got me excited. By then, I'd been in a network marketing career, and I'd used a lot of those principles to earn cars. And they allowed me to teach. And what I found was I felt like I was making a difference in my heart. It just felt open as I taught it. It just flowed freely from me. And I remember one day I was at a supermarket, and one of the ladies from the program, she came up to me and she said, "Miss Denise." Now, guys, I was a young girl. She was older than me, but she called me Miss Denise. And she's like, "Miss Denise, because of you, I did what you taught me. I have my own business. I'm off welfare. And I even bought a house." And I thought, oh my God, I made a difference for someone. And then it just kept going and going. And today I'm here because I love making a difference for people. And I love showing people that they have a lot of power. They have so much power. And if they just know how to tap into it, they can do things that would blow their own minds.
Perfect. Now, this is said and done by so many coaches that you have power, right? But do you teach people how to tap into their power?
Yes, I do. I do. I do.
So before we go to that, because I'm jumping ship here, right? I don't want to jump ship because I want to take our audience on a journey. So you wanted to help people. Did you stop at being a social worker, or what happened after?
So after that, I was doing a network marketing company as well as being a social worker. And I still stayed with the network marketing company and then went on to become a recruiter for a trade school, where as a field admissions rep. And they had a script for me to follow. You put the tape in, the tape would do the work, and then you'd recruit the students. But I didn't do that. I wanted to inspire the students. So I started teaching them about law of attraction. And what happened was my presentations were always the most popular. My students always showed up for classes. It got to the point where I actually received an award for having the most starts and and signing people up in the proper way, because it was an integrity thing. And they realized that I was doing things not only the right way, but I was touching the hearts of the students.
Okay. So, but you were blending your law of attraction stuff into your whatever the script they gave you, right?
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
so that was another phase of your life. And then what happened after? Why did that get over and done with?
So they laid everybody off. They called everyone on a phone. There were about like 50 of us across the United States, and they called us on a phone one morning and said, "We no longer need you. We're going to pay you for a week." And that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. I was excited because I yeah. The reason I came to America was because my dad was an accountant in Jamaica and he got laid off. And that's when our family split up in Jamaica. So I went to boarding school. My two brothers went to live with one of his sisters, each of two different sisters, and my dad had to reinvent himself. And I remember at maybe 13 when my whole family changed. And I said, I'll never give my power to a job.
Okay, so you learned that
Yes,
very
no?
early. Right, because people depend on a job, right? They
Yeah,
depend on a job for everything. And then when the job is gone, it's like I don't have anything. And I've been there too, because for us, you're an immigrant, I'm an immigrant. For us, America is the green pasture from wherever we were, right? We saw this as the land of opportunity. And but everybody in America has come from somewhere, and they forget that. Even though there are people born here, they still forget that they're two generations ago they were just immigrants. So but
correct.
they all take this ownership and entitlement, but that's a conversation for another day. But you learned how the whole dynamic can change if there was just. But your father had the skills of being an accountant. Didn't he start his own business?
No, he came to America and he got a job. He no longer pursued accounting because when you're an immigrant and you move to the United States, you have to start over. You're not an accountant as an immigrant anymore. You have to go back to school and be certified in the United States.
It's like that with everything, engineering,
Yeah,
doctoring, everything, right?
yeah,
So,
everything. So he decided just not to pursue that.
wow. But that's a very noble profession. Okay, so we are not talking about that. But okay, so then you realize, okay, you were happy. You said, okay, I'm going to take my life back. What happened after?
So I decided to pursue my network marketing career like fully. I embraced it and I went on to earn the Pink Cadillac. Now I know you know the company. I went on to earn the Pink Cadillac and I absolutely loved it. I used the law of attraction principles. I didn't know some of them that I was using. It just naturally came to me. And then I decided that I wanted to dive into meditation. And like I told you before, after I had yesterday, after we were talking, after I had my first mystical experience, and for those people in the audience who don't know what a mystical experience is, it's when you realize there's more to you as a human being and your interaction with the earth and the world. After I had that first mystical experience, network marketing for me wasn't a good fit anymore. I knew there was more to me and I could dig deeper.
Okay, so knowing that, first of all, how did you get on the road of meditation?
So before I was introduced to it by a mentor in network marketing, and I didn't think I could still my mind, and because I kept hearing the chatter, and I would do it on and off. But I did notice that when I did a certain meditation and I wanted money, if I imagined the room filled with money, lots of money would always show up, but I was not consistent with it. And then COVID happened. And I had two choices. I could either relax and do nothing. Then I felt this nudging to go deeper into meditating, learning things. And that's around the time I had that mystical experience. And I just took a deep dive into how things work really on earth and what made the 1% very successful And I just started going deeper and deeper. And the more I went down the rabbit hole, the more power I realized that as human beings, we do have, but we're just not aware of it.
Wow. So this power that you talk about, right? It does everybody have it?
Every single person has it. It's a gift. All of us have, all human beings have it.
So then, being skeptical that I am, why is it that people who have, everybody has the power but nobody can find it? Why are we on a journey to always look for it?
That's good. That's a good question. So, I was conditioned, and most of us are conditioned to look outside of ourselves. So we're always looking, for me anyway, I was always comparing myself to other people and still do that occasionally. I'm not perfect. Actually, I am perfect, but that's an affirmation I'll talk about in my class later. Because God made you perfect. But we tend to look outside. We look at what's on TV and we want to be like that. We want to be like whoever, so and so. But if we really were to still ourselves and go to listen for the still small voice within us, we would become familiar with it. And then we would be able to hear it when it speaks to us, when it guides us, when it nudges us. Because everybody gets nudged in a different way. And the more you connect with that still small voice within yourself, then you become a unique individual person and you step into um, what you came here for. Because I believe everyone came to Earth with a purpose. And if we're just looking at everyone trying to be copies of everyone, then we no longer get to be unique. So with my program, I teach people how to, with my meditation, especially introduction to meditation, I teach people how to be patient with themselves, to be silent, to silence their thoughts so that they can go within and discover that they're a wonderful human being and that there's more to them than they understand. And the more you visit that place inside you, the more you become familiar with it. And you'll start to not change, but transform. Because when you change, you can always change back. But like a butterfly, you never see a butterfly struggling to be a caterpillar anymore, right? It just transforms. You will transform. I hope I answered your question. I kind
No,
of,
that's beautiful. I get it. I totally get it. And this is something, this is a journey that everybody has to go. But again, I often wonder is that if I have the power, like you have the power, then why is it that we are looking for that power? And like you said, it makes sense that we're always looking outside and not inward. And Les Brown always says that you have the power, you just have to find it.
yes. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You were saying something.
One of the things that you can do is walking in nature. Just really, even if you set a timer to spend 30 minutes just in silence. They said, I don't remember what the inventor's name was, but he would spend 1 hour in silence asking for ideas. And he invented so many things. So if you just sit for 30 minutes in silence, if you can't do 30 minutes, do 10 minutes. And you'll be surprised at what comes up. Some of the stuff will actually amaze you at how correct it absolutely is. You will learn things that when you look it up on Google, you're like, how did I know this? But you need the time with yourself.
Okay, so spend time with yourself. That's one point.
Yes.
All right, so you have taken this journey through COVID, and it's been almost 2.5 years through COVID. What are you doing now with the power that you have found within?
So I founded a company called the Denise Nicola. And what it is, my intention is to teach people the power of gratitude. I teach them it's more like a personal development program, but it's different, where I help people to tap into the power within through meditation, through introduction to meditation, through learning the universal laws, and of course, gratitude. And I teach them a little bit about how to embody the person that they desire to become. And the goal is for them to transform.
Transform. That's a very fantastic word. Sometimes it can mean so many different things. How did this how did this technique transform you?
Okay, great question. Ha, yes, some really good questions. So I'll tell you first of all that about 10 years ago, I was chronically depressed. It was horrible. Getting up every morning crying and just feeling low. And I remember when I started going into meditation and going into that place within me. And I remember at the end of the meditation, the guide would say, the teacher would say, "Who do you want to be?" And I would say, "Love. I want to be love." And I would just start practicing that every day. I would start putting on a different, it's almost like clothes. You decide to be, you observe yourself. When did I get, why do I get irritable with this? And you analyze yourself and say, oh, I can do different this time. How could I have a better relationship with my parents? How could I learn to love me more? How could I give value more? You start analyzing different things. Does this really make me happy? Or am I just pretending that it makes me happy? And you start dissecting things and you start improving. And every day you do something to improve yourself. In our group, we say you improve 1% a day. And what you're going to find is you're going to start transforming. You also include research. So you start, for me, it was researching the universal laws, reading tons of books like Think and Grow Rich, The Science of Getting Rich, the Master Key System. And I realized they all were saying the same thing, that if you keep repeating the information, one of my teachers, Bob Proctor, says study. If you keep studying the same information over and over, you'll start to transform. And the thing about it is, he used to say, read one page a day and don't change it until you have transformed and you're doing what they suggest. So that's one way, so studying. Also, I use a self-image script. And I teach people how to create the right script, because people say affirmations sometimes, but it doesn't speak to the subconscious mind properly. And I teach you how to create that and use a voice recording and put it under your pillow at night. Because while you're sleeping, you're learning. You can also put it up in your bathroom. So when you're taking your shower, you're saying your affirmation. It's almost like you're becoming an actress or an actor. I know most people are familiar with Marilyn Monroe. Her real name was Norma Jean. She had to shed Norma Jean to become Marilyn. You now must shed your old self to become who you want to be. And the beautiful thing about it is you can make it up. If you want to make $1 million a month, if that's what jives you, you can become that person. And dormant forces and faculties, when you're so convinced that you are that way, dormant forces and faculties will come along and help you, give you ideas, opportunities, things that you'd never expect, because you've become that person. Does that make sense? Did I go off too much on it?
No. That makes sense. So one day at a time. So okay, so this is we're coming to the end of the segment. We don't want to end, but you know how it is. We have to end. All the good things come to an end. But so, what are your 3 tips to the audiences today that they should start doing right now if they don't have time to get to you? Or you talked about your class, so talk about that a little bit and tell us what 3 things people should start doing.
Okay, so I'm creating a program. I have a program where we're going to teach you how to use gratitude to get what you want. And one of the things that I learned, and I know for sure, is that doing it one day is not going to make a difference. In order for you to transform, it's something that it's clothing. It's a coat that you put on every day. In our program, we'll teach you what to do to embody that person that you want to be every day. And you will transform. Once you apply the work and you become completely engaged, you will transform. And we're having an event on Saturday, this Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be a free event. We'll do experiments about the power of your mind. We'll have speakers from South Africa, Ireland, and Canada, and we'll be sharing with you just some things about how gratitude can help you to transform. 3 tips I have for you. 1, decide who you want to be. How would you act? Who would you be? Would you be generous? Would you be loving? Are you someone who drives around town in a Porsche, or maybe a Toyota? Or maybe you're someone who is very loving with your family. Make a list of that person and start practicing putting on the garment of that person. All right. I would tell you to empty before you even do anything after you make the list is next, sit in silence, even if it's for 5 minutes. And at first you're gonna feel like you can't your mind just won't shut off. And that's okay, because no one can really silence the mind. It's just gonna keep going. But the only thing I would suggest is when the thoughts start going through your mind, I like to think of it like a fish. So let's say you're scuba diving in the ocean and you see all the beautiful fish passing you by. You don't go out, if you try to squeeze and grab the fish, it's going to become a struggle because it's going to be slippery and everything. That's what that thought is like. If you try to wrestle every single thought that passes your mind in those 5 minutes, it's going to be a struggle. So just let it pass by. It says, oh, you forgot to do the dishes. Just say, okay, just let it pass by. Oh, you forgot to do, just let it pass by. And after a while, your brain is going to get the idea that, oh, she's not going to pay attention to us in this next 5 minutes. Let's just cooperate. All right. So master silence. So you're going to make a list of what you want to do, who you want to be rather, master silence. And then after you've done that, you want to practice gratitude. You want to do the more gratitude you have, the more you'll get. In fact, in our Christian Bible, they say, he who has more will get more, and he who has less will get less. And that used to confuse me like crazy. And I said, oh, the rich will get richer. Cool. But really what it means is that he who has more gratitude will get more to be grateful for. And he who has less gratitude will have less things to be grateful for. So what you want to do is look for things to be grateful for that delight you every day. And it could even be some days you might be like, oh, thank God I have air. It's free and I can breathe, and really feel grateful for that. Maybe it's that you have a job. Think about the day when you may not like the job now, but there was a time when you wanted them to hire you. You were praying that they would say yes. Be grateful for that. And just practice those 3 things. And then when you do my course, we'll evolve on those ideas. But that's a good start for you now. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out and we can be happy to answer them.
Wonderful. Awesome. So that was soothing, because meditation is something that people are either scared of. I know there's a lot of people who are aware of meditation now, but the thing is it scares them, so they don't do it. Or they say they don't have time. So what is the best time to do meditation?
All right. So I want to address one thing before I do that. If you say you don't have time, there was this ancient teacher that says, meditate for a few minutes a day. And if you say you don't have time, meditate for 1 hour. What you'll find is that when you meditate, it cuts down, it saves you time. I remember when it would take me hours to do a project. And when I started meditating, 30 minutes, done. It saves you time. What was your question now? I had to answer that. What was the question before that?
So what is the best time to meditate?
Okay, best time. You want to meditate as soon as you wake up in the morning. That's when you're in theta mode. You're coming from that sleeping state to that awakened state. That's when your subconscious mind is still open and it will receive. And at night, before you go to bed, the last thing you watch an hour before you go to bed is what your brain plays over while you're sleeping. So careful what you're watching. Yeah. Or you're taking in. So why not take in your dreams? Why not meditate before you go to bed?
Okay, wonderful. Much as we want to continue this conversation, we're going to have to stop. But I appreciate you being here and telling us about this. So you talked a little bit about your upcoming class on Saturday. How do people find that class, or how do they join? You said 8 a.m. Eastern?
10 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Eastern. If I said 8, I made a mistake. It's 10 a.m.
10
Eastern.
a.m. Eastern, so that's 9 Central. And it's a 2-hour class, you said?
It's a 2-hour class. You will get a link and you can post it in your group, or you can share it with whoever you'd like. And people just click the link and it will give you you'll get an email reminder. Well, first of all, you'll get a workbook. You'll get an email reminder, and then you'll also get a countdown towards the event.
Perfect. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and take a leap, right? Because what is it gonna cost you except for 2 hours of your time? And it's free, so you get a workbook and you get the teachings of and the other speakers that have already gone through this. So this is a good thing. So we'll see how that goes. But join, right? If it's free, I think it doesn't miss out on anything. But I really enjoyed talking to you because you have this energy around you, so bubbly. Excited about stuff. But and there are some people who are just, okay, I do this, and they're so serious. But there are some people who are just excited about this, and you are just so passionate about, and your passion shows. So ladies and gentlemen, take a leap. Join her on this journey. She is here for you, and if you have any of the questions, she can answer that. So if you like what we are sharing with you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We are everywhere where podcasts are. We're also on YouTube. So go ahead and join us, and until next week when we bring you another guest, have a good day. And thank you, Denise, for being here.
I want to thank you too for allowing me to be with your audience. I don't take that lightly, and I'm so grateful. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you for being here. Till next week. Adios.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Munira's Musings with your host, Munira Zahabi. If you enjoyed our show, please share and subscribe to this channel. And for more content, please join our Facebook group